My connection to nature, that goes way back for me. So, as a kid, when I was really little, my dad took us camping, car camping, up in Lassen National Forest, and then we also went up to Bridgeport and Twin Lakes near Mammoth Lakes. And I loved camping immediately when I was a little kid. I loved the quietness of the trees. I just liked the variation in terrain, the mountains, the lakes. And as I got into grammar school, I joined the Boy Scouts. I got into backpacking. I really enjoyed that. Just going out with some friends and spending the night under the stars, or we would go out to the Mojave Desert sometimes, or Death Valley. There's so many places in California to enjoy nature, but you can actually lose sight of that, which I did. So I went on to college, got married, had children, started a career, and I found myself going years without really connecting with nature. And other than the occasional work party or maybe going to the beach, I really wasn't finding myself connected to nature at all until I started going through some crises later, like midlife crises. So, as I got farther into my career and the higher levels of management and the ups and downs of that, or married life and everything, I found myself sort of missing that connection to nature. And it wasn't until a number of years ago that on a whim I just decided to go out and try my hand at Mount Whitney, and I went out into the wilderness and went to summit Mount Whitney, and I just realized those hours of hiking out there, it's completely different than being in the city. And I guess by that I mean in the city everybody's so frantic. You're always in a hurry to get to the next traffic light, or get on the freeway, or get to work on time, or get somewhere on time. But I found myself being able to really slow down when I was out in nature. And so in that regard, that was something I had missed for a long time, and I'd forgotten about it. And it brought me back to the times when I was younger, when things were slower. I wasn't in a hurry. And so ever since that trip, I've gone back there 2 or 3 more times. And then I just started backpacking as much as I could. But that connection, once you do go out into the wilderness, or some places, extreme as, say, climbing a mountain like Mount Whitney or whatever, I was able to take that stillness, if you will, and even in the city, like even if I'm at a traffic signal in a crowded city, I still notice like the trees or the insects or the bees or whatever. I still notice them more than I did before. And you notice, like, you pay more attention to the cycles of things, like the sunrise and the sunset or the moon or whatever. So I would notice that, and whenever I get overwhelmed by my work life or my family life, I can always go out into nature, and it will always sort of level set things. It calms me down. I get into the rhythm of nature, because the rhythm of society is very frantic and very manic. And so having said that, I don't always have the time to go to Mount Whitney as much as I would love to. But I find myself spending a lot more time just in even my immediate neighborhood. Like what's nearby? Like, is there a park nearby? Is there a stream nearby? Is there a mountain or a hill nearby? Well, there's a lot of those. I mean, even just here in Poway, you can go to Twin Peaks, you can go to Blue Sky, you can go to Lake Ramona, you can go to Lake Poway, Mount Woodson, Iron Mountain. Even just going to a park, going to Old Poway Park, and just going out there, sitting on the grass, just slowing your life down a little bit, maybe have a meal out there. You don't even, like the conversations when you're in nature tend to be far more fluid, far more relaxed, and far more adventurous, far more optimistic, upbeat than they would be, let's just say, going to a local tavern and watching some athletic event or something, or talking with a coworker or at some business function. It's a nice escape, if you will.